Monday, July 27th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Had a pretty good weather weekend across the Carolinas. A little bit of a break from the humidity. It was still pretty hot for sure, but the humidity level is a little bit more workable out there than what we had for a lot of last week. And the higher humidity content air set to roll back in here this week. These were your Sunday highs across the region. 80s in the mountains, low 90s in a lot of Piedmont zones. Let me show you specifically around the Triad area, 90 in Winston-Salem and Greensboro, 92 in Lexington, 89 in Burlington, and 88 in Asheboro and North Wilkesboro. There's the Charlotte viewing area, low and mid-90s out there for Sunday afternoon. 5 o'clock hour temperatures this morning, running in the 70s in many locations in the Piedmont, some folks in the 60s. Most mountain zones are in the 60s, 70s along the coast this morning as well. So it's a relatively quiet start to the day out there. No storm reports across the entire southeast over the past 24 hours. It was a pretty quiet weather weekend. Now, you did have a lot of thunderstorms rumble through parts of Pennsylvania, New York State, over into Massachusetts, and really the Northeast as a whole yesterday. The other active zone for storms yesterday was focused on the Front Range of the Rockies up into the northern Plains states, where you had a good number of severe weather reports, including some tornadic activity yesterday too. Now, this is the current radar perspective as I'm cutting the video, 5:30 this morning. Pretty quiet across most of North Carolina. A couple small showers there offshore from Wilmington. That's about it. I can kind of show you what's happening elsewhere. I'll put the radar in motion, show you some showers here in parts of the mid-Atlantic states, a few showers around parts of the Ohio Valley, and back into portions of the plains, but pretty quiet close to home. But things are changing. More on that in just a moment. There's the drought monitor here across the state of North Carolina. You still have moderate drought conditions from the western side of the Triad down through much of the Charlotte zones, down through a good chunk of South Carolina and into south central Georgia. Not a horrible situation, but we certainly could use some soaking rains. Now, as far as the forecast is concerned for today, I think we will see the return of scattered thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. And here's the high-resolution modeling. And notice that zone of scattered storms moving through this afternoon into this evening from northwest to southeast. Your highs today, low to maybe some mid-90s out there. And getting a little bit muggier, but it'll be more noticeable tomorrow. I think, again, for your Tuesday, a scattering of thunderstorms out there. There's your highs tomorrow afternoon. And watch what happens with our dew points after being in the 60s today. Here come the 70s for a lot of our dew point temperatures as we get into tomorrow and Wednesday, too. So we're going to be getting back up more toward that oppressive territory on our dew point comfort scale. So the humid conditions set to return this week. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms, again a possibility. There's your Wednesday afternoon high temperatures. Now, late week, we'll see the approach of a cold front. And both the European and the GFS, at least by Saturday, and to some extent on Friday, but at least by Saturday, want to push that front south of the state of North Carolina. Which, if that is the case, we wind up with a mainly dry weekend. Now, the European model ends up bringing a good bit of rain back in here for Sunday. The GFS keeps us dry. So for the time being, I'm going to go with a dry Saturday forecast and mention the chance of a couple thunderstorms Sunday. But it'll all depend on exactly how far south that front over the weekend can push. All right, there's a look this morning from the Avalon Pier web camera. If you're heading to the coast, not bad at all. Just a few afternoon storms with highs generally in the mid to upper 80s. All right, water temperatures looking pretty good, mid 80s for many Carolina beach water temperatures there, and even up into the Outer Banks. A lot of those water temperatures in the lower 80s. Tropics, we're getting deeper into tropical season, but still it is exceptionally quiet. No sign of any tropical development across the Atlantic Basin. And, still a lot of indications that this is going to be a relatively quiet tropical season overall. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.